Hi guys, my name is Liam from Safety First Aquatics. I've been running this business for the past 5 years, and every single year we're in business, I get the same question from customers. They end up living in rural areas and they need me to find them a pool for swim lessons. The problem ends up being pretty simple. High cost for facility maintenance prevent cities or private businesses from building the actual facilities. Consumers are then forced to settle for any provider they can find or one that has availability. No real options exist other than traveling to a facility or not getting lessons at all, which simply isn't a great compromise for life-saving skills. Our solution was fairly simple. We noted that 17% of Americans have a pool. While that number seems small, that actually means that there are 2 to 4 pools within 2-block radius of most Americans. So we started offering Rent a Pool this year. It's a bundled service in which consumers can purchase lessons and have a pool space rented for them, from their neighbors or nearby hosts for a small additional fee. Below is a map of our Southern California pilot program. The product is fairly simple, and it's seamless for customers. Essentially, consumers register online and let us know that they need a pool. Our matching algorithm matches them with an instructor, and it matches them with a rental pool based on their location and uploads the lessons into their customer portal. It then automatically sends them customer information, lesson updates, and a mappable address before their lesson, including their instructor name, to make sure that they get to the location without any issues. The market size is fairly massive. Swim lessons are actually a $3 billion market, with 23.6 million infants and toddlers taking swim lessons every single year, 5.9 of which are in our income demographic, and we're hoping to achieve approximately 885,000 lessons achievable per year. While this number may seem small, our customer lifetime value is approximately $550 currently. Our traction has been pretty notable within the past season. In the past 5 months, we've booked $1.5 million in swim lesson registrations. We have one city program that will be piloting the Rent a Pool program in 2022. They don't have facilities because they're too expensive, so instead they're going to use us and license our product in order to offer swim lessons to their nearby constituents. In this time frame, we also had $250,000 worth of registrations where our customers requested to rent a pool. Most notable about this is that this was within a 60-day period. During the 60-day period, we eventually had to cut it off due to over demand. We couldn't fill it. We're planning to do a full-scale launch next season. Our Rent a Pool program for the $250,000 occurred in Southern California alone. Our team is all experienced in aquatics. We have a total team of 12, but our 4 directors are myself, Tyler Bedley, who runs human resources and manages our team of contractors, totaling over 450 contractors. Garrett, who manages our community programs. We have 21 in Southern California and 5 in Northern California. And Gracie, who manages our in-home lessons scheduling and services. This is actually available currently in 11 major cities and 5 states. Thank you for your time today, guys, and for listening to my pitch.
Great job, Liam. Thank you so much. Oh, sorry. Go ahead.
Nicely delivered. That was great. My first question, well, 2 questions. The first question was, what's the ask? What are you trying to do? What do you need? And then the follow on to that would be, I'd be curious to understand the liabilities of this, of renting out another party's pool. I suspect there's some overlap in like Airbnb type of challenges there as well.
Yeah, that was going to be my question, Chris, around the insurance requirements based for the company, for the swimmers, and also for the renters, for the rentees.
Yeah, and then just to tack on one more thing to make you think fast about is the incentives for the pool owner themselves to get them pumped up to want to do this. We'll let you talk now.
Gotcha. So great insight and very hard questions to address. When it really boils down to it, homeowner in our industry, specifically for providing in-home swim lessons like we do already, the liability actually doesn't change at all from a legal perspective, whether we do it in someone's in-home pool or whether it's a homeowner's. We plan to tackle primarily people that are renting out their pool on partner sites such as Swimply and actually offer them more protection through and we offer them more cash flow through bulk purchasing. Our ask is going to be $500,000. We're planning to raise around here in the fall and in the winter. The reason that we're planning it out is we're waiting to finish the season out to understand the economies of scale of renting pools so that we can deliver the actual product, raise our prices, and include rentable in our actual delivered price to a consumer. We're hoping to make this around between $7 to $10 a lesson.
How have you, that's, I mean, you guys have, I mean, you did 1.5 million in booking, through the website, which is fantastic. And another 250K plus of requested registrations. How are you today? I guess two questions. One, you mentioned Swimly, so it's interesting to hear about a competitor. So if you could dive into the differentiators. And then the second question is how are you reaching these customers today? And obviously you have the city program and whatnot, but outside of that, how are you actually reaching these people?
So right now, I actually built custom Google ad campaigns, and we have a very intense HubSpot automation process to encourage word of mouth and referral business year over year. So we're not just attacking necessarily one consumer, but we actually allow consumers to pass a lesson to a friend that needs it. And why this hits home is a lot of people are very concerned about their kids learning to swim. It's a survival skill, right? And the ability to pass it on to someone that needs it allows more consumers to enter our ecosystem. Now, in terms of the marketing, our average spend right now is about $6,000 a month. We didn't really want to increase it because of the amount of contractors on EDD really didn't allow us to scale. So currently the volume that we're processing is ideal for delivering the service in a good quality. We have training programs planned for next year in partnerships with nonprofits in order to build our instructor base and hopefully achieve around 3 to 4 million.
Nice answer. Thank you. I appreciate that.
Okay, do we have any other comments or questions from the judges?
Yeah, so I'm always a little bit leery of marketplace type apps because they're challenging, and it seems like you guys have it even worse, right? Because you have 3 components to your marketplace. You got the pool, the instructor, and the customer. Where is the initial impetus coming from to solve this problem? Is it just customers who they don't have a YMCA near them and they don't know what to do, so they reach out? And then it seems odd to me that there would be a pool instructor nearby if there's no publicly available pool. Can you explain a little bit the mechanics of how this works?
Yeah, so you've got a lot of communities out in the Midwest that specifically, it's actually right here. So this is actually a map of Dallas. This is insane. You have 30 to 40 swim schools within the immediate region of Dallas. And as soon as you leave it, you see a drop off. And that's what we talk about where it's financially unfeasible. So it costs between 1 to 2 million, and at the highest, $4 million to build a facility, including ongoing maintenance. With sparsely populated areas like this, you just don't see facilities, and cities definitely don't want to incur that cost and build them. Now, the reason that you have instructors is you have what you'll have a lot of high school students traveling significantly farther to jobs inside of these centralized hubs. So you'll have a swim. So for example, we have North Texas Swim Academy. You probably have instructors driving from the right where we see a white blotch in Bonham, and on the left all the way in Gainesville. This looks like a tiny distance. That's probably 30 to 40 minutes at least. But for high school students, that's perfectly fine. And some of these companies will include drive time because they know how far these guys are driving to come into a facility.
So with your go-to-market, is your plan to tackle, because you got to bring all 3 together at once, right? But do you plan to be I know you're doing a pilot right now that's local, but with your 500K that you raise, will you go target one area like this and try to get the customer, the instructor, and the consumers with pools?
Are you asking kind of what's our go-to-market strategy on that?
Yeah, it just seems, like a classic B2B business, you have a hard enough time getting the customer. Then a marketplace, you have a hard enough time getting a provider and a customer. Now you got to get a provider, an instructor, and a customer, and it's all got to be regional and local. How are you planning to do that?
So currently customers actually upload their availability for their pool onto these partner sites. You can just directly book straight into Swimply and go book these times. Homeowners have no issue as long as the availability is there. And what we do is, so I personally am ADD. So what I found is that I built a matching algorithm to figure out how to match instructors with the best student. And what we want to do is the real issue is only matching the student and the instructor. Matching the pool is the easy part, because simply all we have to do is have a matching algorithm go grab and say, this customer wants lessons on Saturday. System goes and grabs an available pool on Saturday, and then grabs an instructor that can teach a 3-year-old that has attention to deficit disorder or learns in a tactile manner. Yeah.
I see. And is that part of your go-to-market then? You're going to use the funds to target like specific areas where you have this type of geography and then hit like one city at a time?
Specifically, what I'd like to do with our funding is I'd like to build a training program with some of the cities. And I'd like to build a training program online to train more swim instructors in these rural areas so that we have a larger serviceable area. And then as I talk about the economies of scale with the pools, right now, homeowners don't know what their pool is worth, which is a huge issue. And the issue with Swimply is that I want to book 1 hour at someone's pool, it's going to cost me $60. But what Swimply doesn't allow for is that if I, as a swim lesson provider, want to send 300 hours through your pool per month that you're offering it, I want it at $20 an hour. And basically what I'd like to use funding for is to go out and find a network of homeowners, get those contracts into place, and build my own internalized platform instead of relying on an outside supplier of homeowners, even though I know the market's there. And I know that we have the actual supply to meet it. I'd like to take it to an internal ecosystem.
Great. Thank you, guys. We're just out of time. So.
Thank you, guys.